right. Got a nice little, what is this size? 1600 PSI, 1.5 gallon per minute power washer. Just get it so you can see it here. What's the name of it? Power Meat. Okay. And of course the customer says it won't start. Now it's a pump, so you're not supposed to let it run for a long period of time. But I am just going to see if it fires. He's got everything. He's got it choked up. We'll just see here. No, I will only pull it 3 times. So let's get the air filter off of there and go to step plan B, C, D, or E. This might not have an air filter on it. Oh, air filter, yes it does. Usually on power washers the air filters stay pretty darn clean because it's moist air around the machine when it's running. Heard a dog barking. I'm expecting another fella to show up today. The phone will probably ring. Yeah, there's not much to them, eh? So I'm just going to see if I can open the gas vent on this guy. Excuse me. I'm going to drain a little fluid out of here and see what the gas looks like. Nothing's coming out of there. We got gas. Yes, it has fuel. And the gas is turned on. So it should drain out of there. Let's see if it gushes out when we take the bowl off. So now I'm just going to remove the bowl right under there. Can you see right there? Right there. I'll take that bolt out and we're going to see if we get a gush of gas coming out of there. I got a hunch it's swelled up, left over the winter and swelled up ethanol fuel turning to tapioca pudding. It's not leaking out of there much. There, now it is. Okay. Now the nice thing about this little guy is I can turn it off. So look at that. Goo! My goodness. You guys see that? Let me just... Oh, that tapioca, that is solidified ethanol after it evaporates. Premium fuel. I don't know if you guys can see that. But that is a classic example of 1-year-old ethanol left in a small engine. We're going to remove the screen, drop it on the floor, and we're going to remove this little carburetor. It should be 2 10mm. Either they're 10s or 8s, right? Oh, perfect. So there's just a dampening spring and the throttle arm. And I think the throttle arm, oh, it's a Z bend on the throttle arm, so just watch carefully as I take this off. Take the spring off first. Oh, I guess the fuel line's got to come off next. Nothing's easy. Okay, I'm just trying to get the fuel line off the carburetor. It's coming. There we go. Make sure it's turned off. Yes, it is. That is the nice thing about a fuel shut off. Okay, now this should just pull off. Maybe. I just wonder if this little cover has to come off of here. Yeah, I think so. Well, that's too bad. More screws. So there's one there and one. That might even do it. Sorry about this, guys. This little bracket's getting in the way. There we go. Still tight. There we go. Holy. Nothing's easy, guys. Oh, did I leave that screw inside that hole? Yes, I did. Okay, that's great. Now we got a carburetor to clean. Let's take the float out. I'm just lining stuff up in a row here as we go. A brass jet. What kind of a carburetor is this? Or what kind of a clone? It looks like a little Suzuki clone carburetor. Okay, let's just see if this jet is clean or not. I'm going to get a brand new rag. Because I can see through this jet, but I don't know if it's got a tiny piece of that tapioca stuck in there. Well, I can certainly see through it better now. Now, the emulsion tube should just drop right out. It should, Shirley. Is that what we're going to call this one, Shirley? It's not coming. It may be set in there. So I'm just going to squirt stuff through it. It's interesting that it doesn't shoot straight through. There, now it does. Well, that's interesting. Everything to me is interesting. You know, it's really interesting to me that everything is really interesting. This is where I like welding MIG wire. Good. It's a simple little carburetor. This is the gas inlet, so the gas comes in here and then it gets emulsified. Now I'm going to take out this idle set. How far is that set? 4 threads. Hope you guys can see me. Yes, you can. Are you watching? Yes, you are. Okay. Now I'm going to take this little jet out here. I think it's probably screwed in tight. Yes, it is. And I'm going to clean whatever is down in there. Okay, now I'm going to wash my hands because it's not good for your hands to get this chemical on them. So this is just soap and water. And I got a little pail in the back there. Quality of my life has really improved since I've added a 5-gallon pail of water. And all you got to do is get that chemical off right away. Eh? Okay guys, I'm just cleaning out this jet on this carburetor, and I've got my new bits. They're my mini bits, and I just took this jet. It was just a little bit sticky, and I'm just rolling it on this drill bit like that. And I think that is the key. I probably removed a tiny, tiny bit of brass there, but not even enough to measure. With the tools I got. Okay, let's get this back together now. I was just putting the jet back in, and I realized I should turn on the camera for this. This is the idle screw. And it just holds down that one jet as well. All you gotta do to get these in is just hold your lips right. Stick your tongue out the side of your mouth, and voila. And the way I do these ones is on the other side there where you see that's coming through. I go it was 4 threads, so right in that zone. That's just for the idle. And it just holds the throttle open a tiny bit, eh? Okay. Now, where'd that jet go? It's pretty little. Here it is. We are now going to stick this jet in. I could not remove that emulsion tube. It might just be a brass pipe, eh? Good. And now the float and needle. They look good. And the hinge pin. Okay, this is interesting, guys. This is the drain for the carburetor on the bowl. You take this out and gas is supposed to pour out of there. Well, I got absolutely nothing. And I tried the MIG wire, and I was starting to think maybe it was permanently blocked. I put the MIG wire in there, nothing would go through. Finally, I got this 22 gauge or 24 gauge wire to go through there. And then I went back and I got the MIG wire to go through there. And then I finally got some flow. Simple. Once it's done. Okay, so now I'm going to put the bowl on the carburetor and we'll reassemble it. And I think I'm going to change the gas in the tank too, before we even put any of that gas into this carburetor. Okay, that's the gas I got out of there. Probably looks to me 2 years old. 1 year old is yellow and 2 years old is orange. Now I'm going to put a little bit of fresh gas in there and just let it run through. Alright guys, gas is no longer orange. This is new gas, and this is the gas that came out of the generator, or pump, excuse me. Alright, this is the final bit. Once you get the carburetor seated with the throttle cable on, right, you just put the air filter assembly back on, and the hose goes in this hole. It's kind of, seems a little backwoodsy to me, but the gasket's there. There we go. Perfect. So I got the linkage hooked up here. Sorry about that. I got the linkage hooked up here. I inserted the carburetor on and just did it up, tightened up these 2 bolts here. You saw that just before that I was fiddling with this throttle arm. They can be a bit of a tough thing to put on. So you have to kind of line up the throttle arm and get the carburetor started on the two studs and get the whole thing lined up, and then just give it a bit of a push. Okay, so now we should have a carburetor. I'm just going to turn the gas on and see if we get a leak. So now I'm going to just turn this a little bit. When I open that, I should get gas leakage, right? You guys know that? That's right there. Ooh, you can hardly see that. There, now you can. So when I open this, I should get a little gas leaking. There, you see that? You smell that? So in my humble opinion, this motor should run. But I don't want to run it very long without water going through the pump. But I say we got to give it a little try, right? Just a little one. See if it fires and comes up to speed. What do we got? Choke? It should go. Right off the bat it should go. Oh. Choke it up again. One more time. Yeah, that's as far as I'm going to run it without hooking it up to the pressure washer, but it runs good. Alright guys, I am just looking at the oil in the pump. I thought it was going to be perfect, but I almost had to turn it right over to get a reading. So I'm actually just going to, instead of just worrying about checking it, I'm just going to drain it. But I'm not sure about whether it should be half full or what there. I'm not quite sure. Eh? I'd say half full. Most pumps run about half full. So we'll just dump the oil out and we'll go to plan B, C, D, and E. And I'll be right back. Okay, I'm just going to turn this guy right upside down. See how much oil we get out of this bad boy. Probably not very much. That's not enough. So we might be losing oil to the water, but I will definitely put more in than that. Halfway up, I'd say. Let's just try this. I think that's going to do it. Coming out of there pretty slow. It's a cool morning, eh? Okay, let's see if we have oil to the halfway mark. I don't even know if you guys can see this, but yes, it's about halfway there. I think we're good. We'll button it up and we'll give it a test. I got the hoses turned on the outside of the house this morning. So we'll meet you outside. That's about right. And we're outside and I'm going to test this pump. All right, let's give it another shot here. Now, it looks like the wand itself is leaking a little bit, eh? It's a little bit of a stream coming out of there. But that's no problem. We'll just carry on. Okay, so except for the fact that the wand leaks a little bit, that's okay. Thanks for watching this one, guys. Alright, we're going to take this handle apart to see if I can find the small leak. Maybe not. These are pretty cheap little things, eh? Must be one more screw. No, it's got to be clipped. There we go. All right. So there's 2 bigger screws and 4 smaller ones, and they're intact. So this guy is leaking a little bit. So let's take it apart. Stick it in my vise here. And see what size that is. I'm guessing 18, maybe. Huh. As always, it's a difficult size. We got a 16 socket though. Might work. Yep. Okay, I have control of the spring now. I can push it down, see? So just make sure it doesn't fly across the garage and we'll lose it forever. Oh yeah, that is pretty neat. Look at that. That O-ring has expanded and it's letting water by. So we'll see if we got one. There's a ball in there too, hey? We'll just clean, it might even just be dirt. There's a spring that holds the ball. Flashlight. Okay, it's looking fairly good now. There's a little rust on this ball bearing. I'm gonna get a little carb cleaner. All right, now we're just cleaning up everything. And this ball had rust on it, and now it's good. Doesn't take much, guys. This spring had some corrosion or some goo on the bottom. This little valve had corrosion on the end. We got that. And I think the seal's okay. Yeah, I think that's good. The seal looks fine. So I'm just going to put it back together. So first goes the spring, and I think the spring went in that way. And then the ball. And then the valve. And then the controller. And this went in tight. And our 16mm socket tightener ripper. I'm just going to go hook it up to the pressure washer and see if it leaks. I'll be right back. But I guess we have to reassemble it first. All right. There. That's better. Had it backwards. Good. Now I'm not going to use the drill to tighten these. I'm going to use the drill to put them in close. Okay, now we tighten them up. Need a better... I might have to use this as a tightener. Oh, I know what I can use. Don't go anywhere, guys. Here we go. Okay, now the pipe. Good. Good. This works. I'm going to stick some Loctite on these screws. Okay, I got the pump wand put back together, and it blocks it. It's perfect. And when it's running, it also stops it from leaking too.